Good morning, you guys. Just want to make sure everyone's able to get here today. Our links had a few issues this morning getting to your inbox, so I just want to give you guys a couple more minutes to jump on here. Mirror Boutique, I think you guys get an award for being the first ones here every day. I do notice that, so thanks for being with me. I know it's crazy on a Saturday morning to jump on a webinar like this, so I hope you've blocked out some time. You've got your coffee because we are going to talk about a lot of things today. So good morning. Drop in the comments what your plans are on this Saturday. I hope it's beautiful wherever you are. I'm going to go check the comments and we will get started here in just a second. So drop in the comments. Let me know what's up. It may look a little different here. I'm not in my office. I'm actually at Sarah Burks's house. I stayed over here last night. So I'm in Sarah's office. And I don't know that I've ever really been in Sarah's office or desk before. And the difference is Sarah has like a pedal bike down below her desk, and it is way fancier than anything in my kitchen table, which is my office. So good day to be here. All right, let's find your guys' comments and see what is happening. Oh man, there you guys are. Holy smokes. All right, let's get this screen set up so I can read your comments. How about that'd be great. There we go. Good morning. It is going to be 115 here. That does not sound like any fun. Where are you at? Clarissa, where are you at that it's that hot? That is crazy. On my way. Oh, it's my son's 12th birthday. That is awesome. We celebrated a birthday in our house this week too. Our daughter turned 6 and was a little wild about that. I just got your message saying that it wasn't working. Nice to see that it is. Perfect. All right, we're here. Marissa, on your way to work. Clarissa, Arizona. Oh my goodness. Sarah's family here. So we stayed overnight here last night, and they are going on a big trip. They're family rodeos, and they qualified for the National High School Rodeo Finals, which is in Guthrie, Oklahoma. And they are leaving this week to head down that way. And I think it's supposed to be like 115 when they're there too. There's a huge heat wave across the South, which I'm sure many of you are experiencing. That sounds sweaty. Very, very sweaty, but fun. All right, you guys, well, let's do this. So today is day 4 of this webinar series, and I'm all about the fact that we can take in information like this. I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to webinars. I love finding new education and new ideas. But the hard part, I'm sure it is for me, I'm sure it is for you too, is implementing. It's finding the time to implement. And I know you've probably heard me tell this story before, but it wasn't that long ago when Eric was like, dude, you cannot listen to another podcast without actually implementing something. And the hard part is, I think at all these different stages, it's not like you get to this one stage in business and you're like, oh, I've got this. Like I'm a master at mastering my time and delegating and outsourcing and all these things. But I think every step that we go through in business as we continue to grow, like we continue to hit these new milestones where we continue to have to outsource, ask for help, systematize, and grow our business. And the more I've thought about it in the last year, I feel like it comes down to these 2 mindset shifts. There's entrepreneur mindset where you're just trying to get the thing to go. Like you're just trying to grow it. You're hustling, you're scrappy, you're doing all the things you have to do to prove that your business is viable. And then once you have to shift into this new mindset of how do I remove myself from being the center of the business? Because at the end of the day, every business is built to sell. Like that's why businesses are started in the first place, right? Yes, you can make money along the way, but eventually you can sell the business and you've got something tangible. Well, if you are the bottleneck of your business, if everything hinges on you, what if something happens to you? I think they call it the truck rule. Like if you were hit by a truck tomorrow, what would happen to your business? Would it be able to survive without you? Would your team know what to do, or do you have a team, or where would any of it go? And I'm curious your answer to that in the comments. The truck rule, if you were hit by a truck tomorrow, what would happen to your business? Sounds morbid, but tell me in the comments what you think the answer to that question is. Because I feel like that's something even, personally in our family, we've had to ask that question a lot. What happens? Like, how do we remove Ashley so much from the business? How do we systematize, build a team, like do all these different things? And And that's really the key to getting more done in business too. So shifting from entrepreneur mindset to CEO mindset, which is all about leveraging time and money and systems and teams and building processes and things that are easily replicatable so the business can continue to grow and it's not just on your shoulders. Because I don't know, you guys, if you've ever been in like burnout mode in business too, that's another very real thing. It's hard to get past that. And if you're taking all this on your shoulders, that's bound to happen to you too. So my goal for you guys today is this. 1 hour of implementation is worth 100 hours of motivation. So today I want to talk really honestly about what it takes to move the mindset from being the hustler and the do-it-all person as the entrepreneur into the CEO. And I see single mom here, one woman show, right? How do you take the weight of that off your shoulders, right? How do you move into CEO mode where you have a system built and your business can still continue to grow even without you? So that's the plan today, moving from CEO or from entrepreneur into CEO. The reason this is day number 4 is because I know you guys have taken tons of notes, probably like 10 pages of notes from the last couple of days, and I want you to implement them. I want you to find a way to get this to work in your business because July is a really important month for that reason. You know, a lot of people talk about July as a J month and oh, it can be slow, but this is the time to implement before we get into the really crazy fourth quarter. So it's go time. I want you to get the things on your notebook, on your list from the last couple of days done. And this is a huge part of boot camp too. You guys have heard me talk about boot camp for the past couple of days. I'll talk about it one more time here today, but I think this is a huge shift. And this is actually the thing we start with when we go into boot camp, rather than starting with how do I do Facebook ads and all these other fancy things. Like if these things aren't right, if these foundational pieces aren't right, you can't get anything accomplished in boot camp. So we have to focus on mindset, foundations, systems, the very unpretty things nobody talks about on Instagram. That's where we go first because those are the things that actually move the needle forward in your business. So a lot of the things you hear today, these are things I've walked through trial by fire myself. I wish I would have had someone to like dangle this carrot and teach me these things early. But good for you because you do. So you'll know these things, even if they aren't applicable to you now, they will be in the future and you'll be ready for them. Emily, 12 pages of notes as of today. That is just ridiculous. That's awesome. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, 12 pages. Super. Okay, guys, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get into it. If you've been here the last couple of days and joined me, you know I'm happy to answer all of your questions at the end of my slides today. I know you're probably going to have several and you're going to have several more pages of notes. So jot your questions in here. Feel free to help one another. We'll talk more about boot camp. So if you have more questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. But I am here for you for the next hour. So let's do this, shall we? All right, give me a let's go if you're ready. And I'll get my slides up and we will run with this thing, okay? All right, let's share the screen. Go to Canva. Oh my gosh, I love Canva. Where was my life without it? And here we go. All right. Yeah, give me a 1 in the comments. Let's go. Let's go if you are ready. All right, 5 steps to scale from an entrepreneur to a CEO. You guys have already met me. I'm Ashley. I'm the founder at the Boutique Hub. You guys know I'm super passionate about doing this and I don't like fluff. I like to get you the hard-hitting stuff that's actually going to move the needle forward in your business. Clearly, if you've got 12 pages of notes, you guys know that I don't like fluff. So that's what today is going to be all about too. If you guys aren't members of the Boutique Hub yet, obviously I want to invite you to join us. This is where we interact every single day with thousands of boutique owners from around the world and wholesale brands. And in case you guys didn't see this yesterday, one of the things I love most about the Boutique Hub community is I feel like it's an information point that is on the cusp of what's happening in our industry. So you may not have seen this yet, but WWD Magic is canceled for 2020, which is a huge deal, you guys. It had already been postponed, and yesterday we were able to share first on social media with our group that it was actually going to be canceled. And so already many of our wholesalers are collaborating to find new ways to bring all of you who are struggling to find inventory, like the latest strategy, a caravan of traveling reps, like new markets that people are going to be going to, just new ways to get you guys the inventory that you need. So I love that people helping people piece of the Boutique Hub that was happening already yesterday and this morning again. So please join us in the Hub if you haven't yet. But there's all kinds of ways to collaborate and work together. So we'll get into that more later. All right. 1 hour of implementation is worth 100 hours of motivation. You all know this. And it's easy to have the systems, right? It's easy to have the to-do list. It's easy to have the tools that you know you need, right? But if you don't have the mindset that is eager to actually get the things done to make the big shifts that really move the needle forward, the systems, the tools, the to-do list, the team even, none of that can be effective if you first aren't in the right state of mind to get this done. If you're still stuck in entrepreneur mindset and you haven't yet shifted to think of yourself as a CEO, this will be a struggle for you. So today, I just want you to put yourself in kind of a new set of shoes to think about, how can I remove myself from being the bottleneck of my business? Put it on a Post-it note, put it on your computer. It's on my computer, and it's something I have to ask myself every single day, because it's easy to say, well, I'll just do that. I'll just take that on. And you can't if you're going to grow. You've got to even start small. And I know some of you are going, but Ashley, I'm still a one-woman show. I'm not making any money yet. Drop those questions in the comments and I'll come back to them, because there's real ways for you to start small and work your way up. And I'll come back and talk about those at the end as well. So here's the main shift. What's the difference between CEO and entrepreneur? Feel free to screenshot this screen, you guys. And then on my Instagram, as soon as I'm off this webinar, I'm actually going to post a graphic just like this. So if we're friends on Instagram, it's AJ Alderson. And you'll be able to download or save this graphic from my Instagram today as well. But let me walk you through these really quick, okay? CEO mindset. CEOs build systems, build teams. They celebrate progress, not perfection. They leverage money to make more money. Time is more important than money. Time is our most precious resource, although a lot of times entrepreneurs think money is our most precious resource. CEOs value ease, have clear boundaries, use time blocking, know their KPIs. They have strategy for long-term growth. They have an exit strategy for their business. Oh my gosh, that's a novel idea, right? What's the long-term plan? And the goal is to make the business operate without you. That is the CEO goal. Now, entrepreneur mindset says, I'm going to work through my to-do list daily, which often are filled with busy work, right? They do it all. They celebrate task completion. They save money by DIYing. They leverage hard work to make more money, not money or time to make more money. They like saving money matters more than saving time. They value hustle. They attack each day, one day at a time. They simply want numbers that are bigger than yesterday's numbers. And they see strategy for growth this month only. They will work forever because it's an identity that they have chosen to take on. And their goal is to make the business centered around them. So that, honestly, we all start as entrepreneurs. Like, so many of those things resonate with me, because I'm like, yep, been there, done that. So I'd love to know in the comments, are you a CEO or are you an entrepreneur? Where are you at right now? And be honest about it, because this is going to be a journey to shift you from one to the other. And I've been there, like, I've been on all these things. So there's absolutely no shame in it. This is a process we all have to walk through together to continue to grow. So here's the next thing. I want you to think about this, right? CEO versus entrepreneur. So CEO takes $100, let's say, and is going to build a website where she's going to do something with this $100. Rather than DIY it, she takes $20, gives it to 3 people to complete the tasks faster. And therefore, in just 1 week, makes $300 in sales with that $60 investment that she made and saved $40. Now repeat that for 3 weeks. She spent $180 and profited a little over $1,000. Okay, because the money and the time are now working for her. Whereas the entrepreneur comes in and says, I have $100, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna DIY it and make this website myself, same project. She does also make $300 in sales, but it takes her 3 weeks to DIY the website and make those sales. Her spend was 0, right? Congratulations. But the net profit was a mere $400. The $300 she made and the $100 that she kept. So think about this. If you wonder why businesses grow so fast, it is this very simple concept. This is how you leverage time and money. And it might start as small as $10. It might start as small as a trade. It might start as small as having someone watch your kids or clean your house. Like, these tiny little things all add up. And the more they add up, the faster they're going to grow, right? If there's any Dave Ramsey fans in the house, shout out if you've ever done Financial Peace University. Every married couple on the face of the planet needs to do this. When you learn about the debt snowball, It is this exact same concept, but work backwards. If you have debt that he teaches you how to take and you're just paying off like one piece at a time, and then you're taking the payment from that first piece of debt that you paid off and you're adding it to the principal on the second piece of debt that you have. And soon, like as you continue to pay these off and you're taking all these additional principal payments you were making, or debt payments you were making, and laying it down on the principal of whatever debt you continue to have, pretty soon your house is paid off. We paid off our mortgage by doing this not that long ago, and that was a really big deal. So same concept, Google it. That's a whole nother conversation. It's a rabbit hole I just about fell down deeply. All right, so to achieve success, we've got to achieve the mindset, the tools, and the systems you need to find productivity and to scale your business. So really, the way I see it is there's 5-step process that I've been able to like look back and find in my own journey from scaling from, say, $100,000 business to a multi-million-dollar business. And this comes the 5-step process of moving from entrepreneur to CEO and how your business will continue to grow with it. So step number 1 is the most important step, and that's your mindset. In order to adopt a system or to outsource anything, we have to first ask these very critical questions. Today, you guys, in your notes, I'm also going to give you some recommended books for reading. If you need a good summer like vacation read, I'm going to give you those as well. So step number 1 in mindset, I'm going to give you 5 mindsets that are really important to growth in CEO mindset. Number 1 is values time. Values time, knows that time is more important than money. So the way I see this is, I know the difference in $100 an hour job versus a $10 an hour job. It's as simple as, yes, I can clean the toilets, right? I'm the best toilet cleaner in the house by far. Gigi's Cupcakes, you guys, if you have not heard the Gigi's Cupcakes podcast that we did, please listen to it. She cleaned toilets for celebrities in Nashville before she founded Gigi's Cupcakes. Her story's unbelievable. I don't know why, I just sparked I was thinking about cleaning toilets and her name came to mind. Anyone can clean toilets, but is it worth your time? At some point in your entrepreneurial journey, you have to say, you know what, my time is worth something. Me doing a live sale and spending the next 5 hours invoicing for that live sale, it's not worth it. My time is worth $100 an hour at least. So I need to hire people that I can invest $10 in so that I can then take my time. I can't even talk today. It's a Saturday. I can take my time and invest it somewhere where I'm going to get a return on my investment. So the question becomes this: when you are looking at your to-do list for the day, are you working on income generating activities? Your to-do list, your task list, your role in your company should be you work on income generating activities. That has become such a buzzword. It's not anymore, but when we were starting out in business, it was such a buzzword in our house. Eric would have to ask me that and like remind me of that, because I would get so lost in emails and Pinterest and making graphics and like all these things that take time. And he's like, dude, is that an income generating activity? You need to be over here like coaching or being on video or like doing the things, and then have someone help you with that, because you have to leverage your most valuable skill set. So ask yourself, what is your most valuable skill set? And you've got to begin to leverage and outsource the rest of it. There is this theory Mike Michalowicz talks about. It's not his own study. I forget who did the study, so I can't credit them, but I heard it from Mike Michalowicz. And it's the theory of small plates. And it talks about how when, just like portion sizes in America, the larger plate that we have, the more food we're going to consume because we're going to fill the plate. And our time is really the same way. If we took a smaller plate and gave ourselves less time to work with, let's say we cut ourselves down to a 10-hour work week, how much more productive would be if we gave ourselves 10 hours a week versus saying, oh, I know I've got 40. Like, I'll just fit it in somewhere. I'm just going to go scroll Facebook right now and I'm going to answer emails right now. Like, no, you got to stop yourself and say, wait, this is my 10-hour work week, and what is most important to fit in? Because it's easy to eliminate the waste and to ask for help once you've asked that question and leverage time versus money. One of the best books that I've read on this topic is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's an older book, probably one of the most important books that should be required reading in schools, if you ask me. Please read it, and please read it with your spouse. And this is really going to shift your perspective on valuing your time. Number 2 is values progress. So progress over perfection. We as entrepreneurs have this crazy idea that we are going to do it better than anyone else. And if we hand it off to anyone, they're going to somehow screw it up. And then we're so strapped for time because we're doing all the things that we're like, you know what? I don't have time to train so and so on how to do this. So I'm just going to do it myself. That is the mindset that is going to hold you back every single time, because you have to figure my time's an investment. So if I'm taking the time to give it to someone else to train them how to do this thing, that's an easily replicatable process, right? So that I can run over here and continue to work on my most valuable skill set. So valuing progress means you're going to outsource and it might not be perfect, but done is better than perfect. And then you can continue to iterate or give feedback or improve the process, but you have to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. I look at our to-do list as this. There's 80% or there's 20% of the to-do list every day that will give us 80% of the results we're looking for. But we get so stuck flipping that around and working on the 80% of our to-do list that does not give us the results, because our mind is constantly seeking these endorphins, right? That our brain's going to release saying, I crossed something off my list. I crossed another thing off our list. Like we had this conversation on our team the other day. Someone on our team, I won't tell you who, was saying, I write on my to-do list to take a nap. And I was like, dude, sounds awesome, right? I would love to be able to take a nap and write that on my list. And she's like, I do it because I have to like physically cross it off and give myself the mental, like, yes, aha moment that I actually got to take a nap and cross it off my list. My theory is this: we all get lost in our email inboxes and social media for the same reason, because we're like, oh, answered that question, deleted that email. And every day we're going for the quick wins because our brain is so addicted to what's released every time we do that. But if we were training our brain to say, no, an email inbox is a holding place for someone else's agenda, and instead I'm going to shift over here and work on my big rock today to actually make progress. What is the big, ugly, hairy, scary thing on my to-do list that I do not want to do today? That's where I'm going to focus on it first. I think about my husband used to be in high-level sales. He worked for a water company that worked in water chemistry. So the sales process was a very long one. It was not quick. They were very high dollar sales. And so he had to do a lot of cold calling. Nobody likes cold calling, right? It's not fun at all. But he was the top salesman in their company because he embraced the fact that cold calls suck. So it was the first thing he would do each and every day. He would not do anything, wouldn't touch anything, nothing. He would get his coffee and just start calling, emailing, calling, making connections, like doing the hard thing that no one wants to do, and usually saves till the end in a hope that they can like push it over to tomorrow and deal with it later. Procrastination, right? So just shifting out of that mindset and valuing progress over perfection is key. All right, number 3, builds culture. The proverb, teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime, versus give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Culture, the culture that you build with anyone on your team, right down to an intern that you hire to help watch your kids, clean your house, pin to Pinterest, do customer service, like get the do-it-all girl, right? That's what we have. Our interns have been absolute saviors to us personally and to the business. When you build that culture of empowerment, right? Empower to make progress versus have them scared to mess up because you're going to come down on them. That's a huge shift. Building the culture of teaching your team to look for the next opportunity, right? Don't wait for me to tell you to do something. Go seek it out and come back to me. Another Dave Ramsey, while I'm on this kick, Dave Ramsey uses this analogy of monkeys on his desk. And he's like, dude, every time someone comes into my office with a problem, it's like they have a little monkey on their shoulder, and the monkey hops off their shoulder and hops onto their desk. And he's like, I don't want anyone else's monkeys on my desk. So he said, I went back and I had to train my team that if they come with a problem, they need to come with 3 potential solutions, so that when they leave my office, they leave with their monkeys, but they have a plan. So same is true with every single hire you make. How can you empower them to know you need options, you need potential solutions, and they have to start thinking ahead of what can they do next, because it can't come from you and the brain power. Going back to the truck rule, if you were hit by a truck tomorrow, would your team know what to do? Building that culture and the systems that I'm going to tell you about in just a minute are going to make all the difference for you to be able to step out of your business. Mindset number 4 is you leverage systems for ROI. So if you have KPIs in your business, if you know, and Jeff, who's helping me with this webinar today, does this every single day. So if you know that you need to make so many sales in your business, I'll use the boutique traffic formula, for example. If you know you need to make so many sales, then you can break that out by what's my sales per week or what's my sales per day, divided by your average order value. Now you know how many orders you need today to hit the goal, divided by your average conversion rate. Now you know how much traffic you have to have on your website today to hit the sales goal that you have at the end of the day. We talk a ton about this in boot camp and all of those types of formulas that are critical to hit in your business. If you know the goal and the KPI in your team, because you've built a culture knows the goal and the API, every number can be worked backwards and built into a system. So your team knows how to manage that system, right? If your girl that's doing Pinterest knows how much traffic you need to get from Pinterest every day, she can work the math backwards and go, okay, I need this many pins, this many repins, this many like from Instagram to Pinterest, like whatever it is. If you know the goal, she can work that number backwards. So leverage systems that are easily replicatable to build that ROI. I heard this, I don't know if it's my dad or like where I first heard this, but they'd said, only attract number grows. And how true is that in business? And I'm not going to tell you that we're perfect. Jeff, you can laugh when you're hearing me say these words, but there's a lot of numbers that I wish we tracked that we just don't. We just haven't gotten there yet. I feel like this has been an evolution for us. And I know this is probably an evolution for you. Start with what you can manage. Pick 3 numbers that are the most important to you and start to really, really hone in on them. If you're in boot camp, the very first thing you do is we have a boot camp weekly tracking sheet where you go in and you start to train yourself to get in the process of leveraging the most important numbers in your business every week. And then every Monday, same time, every week, you come back and you fill those numbers. Because most of us on this webinar are women. I know there's some men here, but here's a challenge that we have sometimes as women that are listening. Sometimes we have bad weeks. Sometimes emotionally, we're like, this went wrong at home and this went wrong in business and so was mean to me on social media. And I just feel like this is a crappy week. I didn't feel like my Shopify was dinging on my app as much as it usually does. Like, I just feel down about it. Well, your emotions can tell you a lot of things, but unless you go back and actually have hard facts to prove it was a bad week, it means nothing. I have seen so many times in boot camp, people come in and go, you know what? I thought it was a bad week. And then I filled out my tracking sheet for the week and was amazed. It was actually one of the best weeks I've had in the last 2 months. But our emotions want to tell us a different story. So only a track number grows means you have to be really diligent about the numbers that matter the most in your business every single week. All right. Finally, I was going to give you another book. The next book I want you to jot on your list is Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz, another one of my definite favorites. Story Brand by Donald Miller, another one. Those are 2 books that are going to help you work on building culture, build your brand and your brand story. And then Clockwork is all about what's the queen bee role in your business, right? Because the bees, everyone serves the purpose of the queen bee. She's got to reproduce, right? So everyone knows what their purpose is. Building your team, building your culture, builderging. Is that a word that I just made up? I think it is. Building the systems in your business comes from knowing what those numbers are and what everyone's roles are going to be to fill into those numbers. All right, finally, growth mindset. This is a really simple one, but this is huge. This is just simply knowing the difference between scarcity and abundance, right? It's working on it like this. It's saying, what if I was more concerned about what I have to gain versus being more concerned about what I have to lose? Sounds simple enough, right? But really it comes down to the minutia of every decision we make every day, and how we choose to live into growth mindset 100% impacts everybody on our team. You are the spirit leader of your team as you grow. You're a leader in your family, your extended family, your friends, your local community. Your growth mindset will 100% impact the outcome of your business. A good book, especially for the women that are listening to this, You Are a Badass, Jen Sincero, 100% recommend it. Also, You Are a Badass at Making Money, her other book. Very, very good, that are going to help you with growth mindset and like how to actually get some of these things accomplished in your business. Sometimes I think people look at business as like, not just business, but life as it's a zero-sum game. Like if you're going to be good in business, you've got to take away from your family time. Or if you want to have a great family life, you don't have enough time in business. That's a scarcity mindset. And oh my gosh, you guys, I could tell you 100 stories about our own family that has come to us and said, "Oh, you're traveling too much. Like that's not going to be good for your kids. You're just too concerned with your business, blah, blah." I completely disagree with that. I am 100% of quality over quantity in every area of business. And when you are dedicated to greatness in one area, it spills over into all areas. That's abundance. That's growth mindset. That's knowing that anything that we want to achieve in this life is possible and that we can be great at both things. One doesn't have to take away from the other. That is scarcity, that's lack, and there's not enough to go around in this world. So think about the different areas of your life where some of those little mindset triggers might be creeping in for you. So those are 5 mindsets that are really, really important to CEOs. And for the purpose of today, let me just look at the time. I really wanted to hammer on those most. So you guys, please drop me a thumbs up or say yes in the comments, like that was helpful. And drop in the comments too. I'm all about accountability. So if there's one of these that hit home for you, if there's something you dropped in your notes today that you're like, oh my gosh, that's me, drop it, because I think you're going to enjoy seeing what other people have to say in the comments. What hit home for them may be different than you, and you're going to be able to learn from one another. So drop the action item. What did you learn? What hit home most for you into the comments on these mindset shifts? So to go back to the overall purpose of today, these are 5 mindsets, but there's 5 steps in this whole journey of, again, scaling our business and shifting from entrepreneur into CEO. Mindset is the foundation. It is step number 1. Step number 2 is boundaries. We can't go on with our bad selves and all of these mindsets if we haven't first set boundaries. Boundaries are one of the best things in life, in business, for children. It's the reason they put fences around playgrounds, right? The more children know they have a boundary on the playground, the more they're going to run and play. They're going to feel safety because they know where the boundary is. And that's so true with our time. I remember, you guys, like it was yesterday, the time staying up till 1, 2 in the morning working on things, skipping dinner, skipping family time because I felt like I had to hustle and grind and get these things done. And I wouldn't say it was just like one turning point. There was a number of different turning points in our life and business where as a family, we had to sit down and go, you know what, this is not working for us. Like when we come back to why did we start this business in the first place? And I invite you to ask that question. Why did you start this business in the first place? If it was for more freedom, if it was to give back to your family, right? Or let's even say this, if you've gone through COVID-19 and you've come back and said, man, I really took for granted the family time that I haven't had for a long time. And now all of a sudden everyone's stuck under one roof. Here we are. I want more of that. I want to see my kids grow up. I don't want to miss out on any of these things. For me, like I am not going to miss any kids sports. I absolutely love kids sports. So when you know and you are hard on where this boundary is going to be, like where is my end day, my end hour, every single day at work, now you can start to work around those boundaries and be more productive inside of them. So where's your boundaries around your health, your faith, your family, and your hobbies? And when you sit down and you're going to time block in your calendar, which this is a whole nother thing we go into in boot camp, is the 4-part to-do list, time blocking strategy, how to set up your entire week one piece at a time so you can be more productive. When you do that process, the very first thing you do is you lay in your boundaries. Okay, I'm going to work from 8 to 5:30. That's my boundary. I have an hour for lunch because at lunch I'm going to spend it with my family. I work out on this day, this day, this day. My kids have sports on this day, this day, this day. And these weekends or these times I am taking off to have a vacation or to go to kids sports or whatever it is, right? The boundaries are the first thing that we lay into the calendar. And then everything else has to come back and fit around that. All of our to-do lists, anything in business, our tiger time, you name it, all has to fit around those key boundaries. The other thing I would say is, I think I heard Brendon Burchard first say this, but I thought it was a novel idea. So now I've kind of adopted it. Every Sunday night or Monday, when I look at my calendar, I've made a game for myself to say, okay, what's one thing I could say no to this week? because inherently we're going to take on more things than we really should or could. We're going to bite off more than we can chew, because that's human nature, because we don't want to say no to people. So at the beginning of every week, you have to look back and go, okay, here's my week. I'm setting up my schedule this week. What's one thing I could take off my list? It might be a meeting. It might be an activity. It might be something on your to-do list that you're like, you know what? I'm not going to do this thing this week. I'm going to ask so-and-so to do this thing. Or I've got this new college kid I just met, or, you know, a friend or a connection or whatever. I'm going to call her this week and see if she could come and do this thing for me, versus me just taking on one more project. So my challenge to you is this: what is one thing you can say no to each week? Find one thing you can turn away and get off of your list. Get yourself in that routine and habit so you can hold true to what your boundaries are going to be. And again, going back to, why did you start this business in the first place? What is the plan? All right, step number 3 is, what are the tools that I need to make all of this happen? Because it doesn't just happen with a laptop, computer, and an email. There's some definite tools that are going to help you accomplish these things. So first is communication. If you have any kind of team, intern, babysitter girl, anyone that you're communicating with, the most stressful thing you can do is give yourself 12 different inboxes to check. So find, what is the one central mode of communication going to be? For us, our team uses Slack. So there's no emails between team members, because like that would be a nightmare trying to shift through all the emails. There's not texting, there's not Facebook Messenger, there's not Instagram DMs, nothing. Everything is in Slack. It's free. I love Slack. It's free. There's these communication channels where you can say have a customer service channel, a purchase order channel, a going to market channel, a marketing channel, a photography or photo shoots channel, HR channel, like all those things. So all the communication between you and your team is all centralized in these different little places. And you guys, even if you just have one employee, it's still so helpful to go in and be able to drop those things there. We have this thing at the hub called the Squirrel Rodeo, because there's plenty of people on our team that enjoy rodeo or have horses. We just thought the idea of a squirrel rodeo sounded a little bit chaotic. And that's what happens when we brainstorm. Anytime we brainstorm, it becomes a squirrel rodeo. The ideas go crazy. So there has to be a place in Slack for the squirrel rodeo. All right, next pieces that you need in terms of tools are for project management. So you might be rocking the old notebook. I love to rock the notebook, but sometimes my notebook list gets really long and it's like not possible to achieve in a month, let alone a week. So what we found to collaborate with one another and to keep all of our pieces organized is we use Trello. In Trello, again, you can have boards, you can have to-do lists. We do a lot of like our quarterly goals are in there, our monthly goals, monthly to-do lists. You can go see what your team has on their list in there. Everything that we need to do, but we aren't going to do it right now, goes into Trello. We also use anything cloud-based. So Google Suite, that's what all of our emails are through. Google Docs, Google Sheets. We don't use Dropbox. We just try to condense everything to Google, so it becomes really easy. Those of you that are sharing a lot of photos for photo shoots with your team, Google Photos is a really great way to go. And then again, everything is centralized to the Google platform. Google Calendar, that's another thing we use for Google. LastPass, how many of you guys hate passwords? Put hate passwords in the comments if that's you. We use a tool called LastPass, so all of our team can collaborate. Then you just have one password you need to remember. You can choose and give sharing permission, so it's not like your team gets your bank account passwords. You can leverage what passwords you want people to have inside of LastPass. And then finally, I don't even have one in front of me. I can see Sarah's sitting here, her old one, but a great day planner. We are all about day planners. I think there's something about still writing something down that gives your endorphin release once you're able to cross it off or see the success at the end of the day. So we built a planner just for boutique owners with this in mind. It is the only planner in the world for boutique owners. So there's monthly checklist, quarterly checklist, annual checklist. There's tips for every single month of the year. There's content ideas for every single month of the year. There's tracking, financial tracking, inventory tracking, social media tracking. There's all kinds of retail math and equations all about churn, now I'm thinking about our own business, turn rates, sell through, inventory on hand. There's a worksheet for open to buy in there. All the things that you might need is all in this one single day planner. It's called the Boutique Boss Planner. You can go to boutiquebossplanner.com, check that out. We have just a couple left for 2020. Actually, those are probably going to be sold out in the next week. And then 2020s goes through December. And then we launch the new Boutique Boss Planner this fall in, I think, early October is when that's going to release. So all the 2021s are on sale right now. If you want to get one, check it out, use it for the rest of the year, and then get ready for 2021. All right, tools. Step number 4 is do the work. Do the work. If you have a notebook, I have a long list for you of some systems and KPIs to put in place. So doing the work, what that means is creating SOPs, standard operating procedure, systematize everything in your business. So every position in your business, every employee in your business, everything from onboarding to offboarding to uploading new inventory on your website, writing down the step-by-step process in a Google Doc so everything is systematized. You have an operations manual that can cover all of these SOPs. Having that there is going to take such a burden off your plate, because you guys, I know what it's like to come back and have to retrain people on all those things, or you lose an employee comes back and you got to fight the battle of training them. So the more you create the SOPs that are really easy to follow, and then you follow it up and you make a video saying, hey, new employee, welcome to working at the Boutique Hub. Here's what the Boutique Hub's about. Here's how our team works. Here's the tools we use. Here's our expectations. Here's how you're going to get paid. That's kind of important. All those things. Put it in the SOP, but then make a video about it too. So training your team becomes really easy. And then some of the things that you may not do every year, like let's say holiday marketing, you've got your SOPs and your idea list that you can come back to, so you aren't trying to reinvent the wheel every time you come around to that time of year. So here's some other ideas you can create SOPs around. Obviously your employee handbook, your team operations manual, hiring, interviews, and onboarding, firing and offboarding, creating an SOP for that. So you don't have to remember, oh yeah, did we change the LastPass password? Like, what else do we need to do at the moment? Employee reviews and employee contracts, having an SOP around shipping, receiving, and returns. Really important. Once you have the SOP in place, the cool part is it gives you the flexibility to come in and optimize that as you continue to go. SOPs around customer service standards, cleaning and daily checklists, buying, going to market, markdowns, photography, social media. Oh man, social media is a big one. That's kind of our Content Sanity Masterclass, where we go into that, like what needs to be posted every week, what content can you create and then reuse and cross-post it on other channels? Like, how am I going to maximize this versus attacking every Monday as if it's a fresh blank slate and you're like, what am I going to share on social media this week? This is having an optimized plan ready to go. SOP around warehouse optimization and layout, which as you grow, that is going to continue to be a moving target. Vendor returns and vendor contracts, negotiations, reordering, accounting, payroll, all the events that you run. Again, going back to, you might go to vendor events a couple times a year, right? So having an SOP or a checklist on, okay, here's what I need to take, here's what I need to remember, here's how I'm going to set up, and here's how I'm going to optimize that experience, not just to sell product, but to gather new customer information. Around your branding, so having an SOP, like a media kit around what are your colors, what are your fonts, what are the key messages, what are your keywords, all those things around your brand. And then finally, collaborations is another one. Working with influencers, brand reps, like what is the step-by-step process you want to remember so it's easily replicatable. And once it comes out of your brain and lands on the paper, you hand it to your manager or someone on your team and say, go, run with it. The more you can get out of your brain and get into a system and give it to someone, again, duplicatable processes become so, so important. All right, that was step number 4. Step number 5, you guys, is simply to evaluate. I would love to tell you that you're going to walk through this system and your life is just going to be perfect. It's going to be roses. It's not. The more you grow, new levels, new devils is what they say. So as you go through this process, evaluate, okay, where am I at now? And where do I need to go back in this process and re-optimize? Maybe I need to come back and revisit this mindset, or maybe I need to reset this boundary. Whatever it is, this is going to be an evolution. But once you're used to this evolution and just have like a roadmap of where you're going to go from here, it becomes so much easier at the end of the day. And again, that sticky note on your computer that says, am I the bottleneck of my business? I still have been doing this for 7 years and I'm still the bottleneck of the business. So it's just a constant evolution to change that. The other thing I want to say on this note is we focus a lot on to-do lists, right? We're all about what am I going to do next? What if we focus more on to-done lists, right? What if we looked at the end of the day and we said, okay, today I accomplished X, Y, and Z. You leave the day with a sense of purpose, gratitude, accomplishment. I got something done, but it also trains our brain to become much more results oriented, not just busy oriented with a to-do list, because you can cross all kinds of crap like take a nap off your to-do list. But if I'm focused on the to-done list, now I'm results oriented. I actually did something today that moved the needle. I worked on income generating activities and actually made progress in my business, not just focused on perfection or being busy. All right. It's not about getting things done. It's about getting the right things done at the right time. So be careful with that word busy. I think a lot of people like to abuse it. All right. So CEO mindset litmus test. Is this the best use of my time? Is this the best use of my resources? Can someone else do this instead of me, or can I train them to? Does this impact our KPIs? Does it produce a hard or a soft ROI? Does it build goodwill or culture? Will I remember it, or will it impact us a year from now? Screenshot this screen, you guys, if you can, because you're going to want to come back to this and ask yourself this every day. And again, just a reminder that CEO versus entrepreneur, I'm going to put that on my Instagram as soon as we're done here. So you can go download that or screenshot that as well. It's AJ Alderson. All right, you guys, that was a lot of information for today, but I hope you have more pages of notes. I hope you're like, okay, now I can see how I'm going to get from point A to point B. Now I see where I can outsource. Now I see where I can ask for help. And like I said at the beginning, even if you are solo and you're just starting out, this is as small as trading out someone to do your photos or trading out someone to clean your house, and you maybe trade clothes for that, whatever it is. Like start small, because it's a snowball effect. It's just going to continue to grow as you go throughout your business. 1 hour of implementation is worth 100 hours of motivation. So last day we are spending together, you guys. This is 4 awesome days that we are so grateful for. Thank you for tuning in to all of these. And at the end, again, I want to just ask you this question. Is it okay if I share with you just one last time how to work with us inside of Retail Bootcamp? We share a lot of this stuff for all of our members at the Boutique Hub, but not all of it, because Retail Bootcamp is really where every strategy, step by step, every lesson we've learned, every lesson we've walked through with other boutiques, we put it all inside of Retail Bootcamp for you guys. And that's the only place that Sarah and I go to do more small group coaching and also one-on-one coaching. If you want to do the VIP program in Bootcamp, where you get to work personally one-on-one with me and personally one-on-one with Sarah, and we deep dive into your business. So if it's okay with you, please tell me yes if this was helpful, and yes if I can share this with you one last time. If you've been here before, you know a little bit about it. But a couple things I want to highlight today. I've highlighted here, obviously, the things you'll learn inside of Bootcamp, also all the things you get inside of Bootcamp. But a couple questions I often get. The guest experts we have in Bootcamp, you guys, you get access to all of them, past, present, and future. So that's at least 12 every single time we've done Bootcamp. That's 24 a year. There's a lot of videos in there from awesome, awesome people. We had an SEO person from Shopify. We've had team members from Pinterest. We've had more Shopify specialists. We've had influencers. We've had mindset experts. We've had all kinds of people come and join us, actually from all over the world that have come and joined us. So those are all available to you in Bootcamp, plus all of the templates and downloads, the SOP list I was talking about, the 4-part to-do list, all of those are downloadable inside of Bootcamp. And then our private Facebook group, where we spend a ton of time together. Now, a lot of you have asked me about the LA experience because it is still so up in the air. I wish I could tell you, yes, we're going to LA this fall. We probably won't be going to LA this fall, knowing what's happening in the world around us right now, but we will be back there soon. And you're welcome to come to LA on any of the trips that we take, not just in the session that you sign up for Bootcamp. So inside 14 weeks, at least, we're going to work together, although you get it for a lifetime, 12 plus modules and all kinds of information. So today's kind of my last invitation to you. If you would like to join us inside of Bootcamp, I would love to be able to work with you inside of your business. So guys, any other questions you have for me? I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to jump into your comments and answer some questions. Let's see, maybe I just, I just lost my tab where I had your questions up. Jeff, can you Slack that to me? There we go. Let me pull this up so I can see your questions, guys. Where are we at? Oh, that is not working. There we go. Okay. What is the cutoff date to join? The 21st is the cutoff date to join. So there's one more week that it's going to be open. That's the cutoff. We have not started to offer boot camp to the general public yet. We've only offered them here with you guys that have been coming to these webinars. So we do have the free content calendar, free boutique boss planner, that we're going to be doing. And I'm thinking we're going to also add in for you guys a free, we love to do like coaching hot seat sessions on Zoom, where you guys join Sarah and I live on Zoom. We're all sharing screen. We see each other's faces and you just shotgun your questions at us and we work directly inside of your business. We're going to be adding that to you guys today. So anyone who wants to sign up for boot camp today or tomorrow, anytime before Monday, you want to pull the trigger this weekend and make it happen. We're going to add a free hot seat coaching session for you guys as well. So it'll be you and just a very small group of others that have jumped inside of this session of boot camp. So that is before Monday, and then that goes away, and then you have until the 21st to jump inside of boot camp. I know a lot of times, like the big thing is you've got to make sure this works and you talk to your spouse about this and you're on the same page. Sometimes that's hard. And I want to offer this to you. The first time I hired a coach was probably one of the scariest. It was one of the most scariest things I ever did in my life. Like, I'm just not going to sugarcoat it. I didn't think my husband was going to be on board. We went ahead with it. It was kind of a do or die moment for us. Like, we had to hire a coach to get some things figured out. And it was like God kind of punching me in the gut and going, you know what? You need to do this, Ashley, because the alternative is you're just going to continue to flounder. And then you're going to have to go get a quote unquote real job in town, which honestly, there was a lot of family members we had at the time that were saying, when's Ashley just going to go get a real job? Like, this boutique thing is never going to work. It's a crazy idea. When is she just going to go get a real job? Eric, you're working so hard. You know, you shouldn't be working this hard, trying to support 2 incomes, you know, like, just tell her to go get a job. And that was the moment. And he never said that to me. I'll tell you that. Like, we were always very much on the same page and he gave me all the support in the world, but we knew we had to have help. It was us trying to DIY it, an entrepreneur mindset, and it wasn't working. We had to go find someone that could save us time by investing money into our business so that we could get the things accomplished that we really wanted to. So that's really what it came down to. And the beautiful part is I paid $7,500 for that coach. Crazy. Like, that's a lot of money for even today. Like, there's retail coaches out there, you guys, that charge $10,000 just to work with them one-on-one. This one was $7,500 for me. And that was way more money than we had. Like, I put it all on a credit card, which I am a Dave Ramsey fan. I don't even believe in credit cards. What was I thinking? But we did. And in the next 3 months, that all was completely paid for and we'd made our money back tenfold. Like, it was unbelievable just how someone else looking in your business makes such a shift. That was my experience. I would love to help you make a similar opportunity in your business as well. Jennifer, the most notes yet. Thank you for this. That's awesome. Carmen, really great information these past 4 days. Thank you for doing this. Yes, we will continue to continue bringing you this information. I don't even know what that sentence was. Carmen, I'll be here. I will be here for that. This is a great computer background for the last week. Awesome. Perfect. Yes, put that on your desktop background. Liz, what the heck does it mean to be the bottleneck of your business? Best example is, think of a beer bottle, right? Beer bottle, you got all this stuff down here, and then it slowly trickles out because it gets thinner at the top, right? That's the bottleneck. That bottleneck slows down the pour out of the bottle. Otherwise, if it had an open, like it was just a coffee cup, right? I can dump this coffee cup out in 2 seconds, but the beer bottleneck slows it down and won't come out. So that's what we are in our businesses. All right, other questions. I don't use CCs. I wish we had Sezzle. We do have a payment plan. Sezzle doesn't work with our technology, but if you don't use CCs, we can talk about that. Just shoot us a DM and we're happy to help you with that, Jennifer. All right, I'm scared because I failed at my first business, but in my heart, I know I can always make this work. My husband always supported me, but is only allowing me a certain amount of money. Mallory, I completely understand that too. So I DM me and we'll chat about that. We'll chat about a strategy for that. And I would invite you. Oh, I see Heather. I see your comment. I want you to look at the word failed for a second, because the word failed comes from scarcity mindset. So the more you can look at failure as an opportunity or a pivot, the better, right? The more we're scared to fail, that's like when I was talking about scarcity versus abundance. Scarcity is saying, I'm afraid to lose versus I'm ready to win. So think about it like this. If you were going to the beach and you were going to try to like pick up sand, you're going to try to gather as much sand as you can to put it in a bucket. When you do that, you're going to go about gathering your sand with your palms open like this. You're going to scoop and scoop and scoop. And the more you hold your palms open, the more sand you can put in your hands, and you're going to scoop it into a bucket. The second we start to think, oh no, I'm going to drop the sand, it's windy, and we start to close our fingers to hold onto the sand, what happens? The sand runs through our fingers, right? And we lose the sand. So mindset's really the same thing around failure. And I don't know anything about your business. I would love to know more about your business, but I want you to just shift that opportunity thinking of, how can I look at this in my business and this failure as a lesson? I'll tell you what, the Boutique Hub, when we first started the Boutique Hub, it failed. It did not work. That's why we had to hire the coach in the first place, because the very first iteration of it just wasn't working. It wasn't going to work the way that it was. So we had to quote unquote fail in order to pivot, in order to find what was really the opportunity that was waiting for us. I think every single one of us has that opportunity in our life. It's looking at failure as an opportunity. Trisha, what advice do you have for a new boutique owner that has not launched yet? Trisha, I'm going to be honest with you. If you have not launched yet, there's a program that we have called Boutique Owner Basics, Bob. I think that's a great place to go get the step-by-step of how to get started. It's a very, very like condensed, small version of getting started in your business, where to buy wholesale. I would go there, get your feet wet, and then come into Retail Bootcamp. Some of you that have already started, I got this question the other day, like, which one should I pick? I would say if you haven't started yet, I would go to Bob and just get started. But if you've already started and you're like, okay, but now like I've started, but I'm ready to grow, I would go into Retail Bootcamp, because it's a program that is going to continue to grow with you for the life of your business. We've had everyone from brand new boutique owners in there to multi-million dollar brands and businesses in there, that everyone along the way continues to find nuggets inside of bootcamp. To fail is just the first attempt at learning. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I'm looking at Sarah's vision board above me, and Sarah has this brilliant quote up here that says, you're either winning or you're learning. You're either winning or you're learning. Like, I think I need to put that on my vision board. She's got some really good things. Be the woman your daughters want to be. Ooh, that's also another good one. She's got a good vision board. We also talk about vision boards in boot camp. We're big on that as well. All right, those of you that are trying to get into boot camp, there is a button down below that says learn more about boot camp. You can click on that to get inside as well. Mallory, I wish I had you in my open boutique years ago. Might still have brick and mortar. Thank you for giving me so much confidence again. Oh my gosh, Mallory, you're welcome. You are so welcome. It is such an opportunity for stores like yours that are brick and mortars that have been here for a while. Sarah's business, the business that she owned and operated and then sold, was in existence for 67 years. It was a small town like department store boutique. She started working at it when she was in high school, and then later bought the business and operated it for, I think, almost 20 years. So those brick and mortars, Sarah talks a lot about like the things that you have learned through that process, and now how to shift it into 2020. Because for everyone that's had a brick and mortar for a long time, 2020 is a whole new animal, right? So you're going to find a lot of that information in this session of boot camp, moving that boutique digital, but also creating that true omni-channel experience that is brand centric and not store centric. Because I think a lot of times we try to take that brick and mortar and put it online, and it doesn't work. So we've got to shift the focus into what's the brand we're building and what's the customer that we're really serving, versus bringing the store stuff and just putting it online and thinking people are going to find it and buy it. A quote like, I was hurt, but I'm not slain, so I shall rise to fight again. Oh, that's so good. That's a really good one. Liz, How long after signing up do we start? So the second you sign up, you'll get a login information email to your modules, and you can start now. You can, and I would recommend that you start now. Start going through the modules now. You'll be added to the Facebook group. Today's Saturday, so our girl, I don't think is adding people today. You'll get added on Monday to the Facebook group. We like to give our team the weekends, except for Jeff, who's here running this webinar with me today. We like to give our team the weekends. So you'll get added on Monday. You can get started on the modules, and then we do introductions the week of the 22nd. So once the doors close on the 21st, we'll do a week of introductions where we invite you to come in, do videos, introduce yourself, get to know the other students inside. And then module number 1, we will break down on the 29th. So you'll want to have everything in module 1 done on the 29th. And then we usually go a module a week. Sometimes we have to break it up and go a little bit longer because the modules can get really big. And you're probably going to get overwhelmed at some point. And that's just going to happen. So what we're going to tell you is go through the module and find the one thing you are going to implement. Do not make yourself a to-do list and think you're going to do all of it, because you won't. That's why you have lifetime access to boot camp. And that's why we say it's the most in-depth program anywhere online, because we know how much is in it. It's a lot, but it's going to give you things to come back to again and again and again. Okay. When I bought yesterday, did I get added, or will that be Monday? Accent Boutique. Yesterday was Friday. So I don't know. I mean, you would know if you got added or not. If you didn't get added yesterday, you'll get added on Monday. Need to start a vision board. Yes, everyone needs a vision board. We talk in bootcamp, we go into depth. One of the first things, you guys, that coach I was telling you about that I hired, one of the first things she had me do was create a vision board. I was like, dude, this is hokey. Like, why would I create this vision board? But the more I started to realize like the power of seeing that same thing and creating that reality every day, the law of attraction, it is a big, big opportunity that I think so many people today are missing. What you focus on, you will receive more of. The time that you spend continuing to focus on something that you want, the energy that you give to the things you want in life, your brain is going to work for you and say, how do I make that possible? How do I make it? It's just like saying, I can't afford it, right? That's a really direct statement saying, done, brain, shut off. I can't afford it. Versus asking this question, how can I afford it? Now, because it's a question that we've posed in our mind and it's something that we want, our brain is going to go, oh, okay, I'm going to look for all these opportunities. If you guys have kids, or you remember when you were a teenager yourself, remember how you would pose that question to your parents? Be like, hey, can I buy this thing? Or can I do this thing? The first couple times you asked it, your parents said, no, we can't afford it. Or no, blah. Then you got smart, or then your kids got smart and they started to say, okay, but what if we did this? And they started to come to you like the monkeys on your desk. They started to come to you with ideas and knew like, how can I afford it versus I can't afford it? Then those things started to happen, right? Teenagers get smart. Our brains are the same way. Whatever we continue to focus on, be it positive or negative, we are going to continue to attract into existence in our life. The more we focus on the negative, what if I fail? What if I fail? What if I fail? We're going to continue to go down that road. What if I fly? What if I fly? What if I fly? We're going to continue to go down that road. And vision boards are just the thing we look at every day, and we continue to speak these things into existence in our life. If you're reminded every day to be the woman your daughters want to be, how are you going to show up differently in your life every single day? Man, and let me take it to the next step. If you've not watched the movie The Secret, to me, that was really the start. The Secret's an older movie. You might be like, this production is not what it is in 2020. I get it. That was really the first start for Eric and I to really start to understand mindset, because we did not grow up in a house that spoke about mindset. It is what it is, right? You valued hard work, you were honest, you had integrity, you did these things, but things also were the way that they were. And we had no idea the power of just visualizing the opportunity that you wanted in your life, that you wanted to achieve. And now even with sports, I'll give you a sports analogy with kids. Every time our kids go out to make a run, because they have horses, right? I pull them off to the side and I'm like, okay, Hadley, close your eyes. And I want you to visualize your run as if it's happening. Visualize it, like close your eyes, go through the perfect run. And then she'll go in, and the more that you have visualized it, your muscles have muscle memory to it now, even though it's just happening in your brain, and the easier it is to execute it. That's true for every single area of our business. That was a big tangent, you guys. Okay. I know you said there was an additional $99 for going to LA. Does that cover the hotel and everything? It doesn't, we don't cover the hotel or the flights. That's on you. It just covers our time together with our buses and then some of the meals that we're able to provide. But what happens, Ashley, is most of our boot camp students in our Facebook group will start to talk to one another, and a lot of them come in and they share Airbnbs or they'll share hotels. Nothing like meeting up with strangers you meet on the internet to share hotel rooms with, right? Okay. Oh my gosh, Christy, you said the magic words. I need to think, how can I afford this course versus I can't afford it? Yeah, every area of your business, whether it's this course or anything else, 100% that is the question that you ask. Jennifer, yes, you love the secret. So powerful. So powerful. All right. Other questions, you guys. Let me just scroll up. Drop any other questions you might have in the comments. Oh my gosh, there's lots of questions and comments today. Right now, I'm an entrepreneur shifting to CEO. Ooh, we got some Dave Ramsey fans in the house. I see. That's awesome. Okay, just logging in. Yes, you should be able to see the comments when you rewatch. Love all this. Growth mindset hit home. Perfect. You guys, your comments are awesome. And you're loving these books. Can you list the books being mentioned? Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz, You're a Badass by Jensen Shiro, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. What else? Story Brand, Donald Miller. Oh, you know what's a good one? Hit me like a ton of bricks. The One Thing. The One Thing. I think it's Gary Keller. That's a really powerful book. When you read that one, you're going to be like, oh, this question is dynamite. That's it. I listen to all my books on Audible. I don't know about you guys, but if I actually like read the pages in a book, I fall asleep. I can't hack it. Like I can't stay awake. I have to listen to it on Audible. All right. You guys are awesome. Okay. Any other questions? Let me jump down to the bottom here. I've met some of my best friends online and then met them in person. Yeah. You know what's funny? The very first year that we did the boutique summit, Christy, we had so many people, you know, our community had never met up. Like there was never a conference for boutique owners until we started the boutique summit. So we had so many people that were like meeting their new boutique besties in the airport and then coming to the conference. And so many of them were like, yeah, my husband thinks I'm crazy. Like, is this girl a serial killer that I'm meeting at the airport? What's the deal? And then they become very best friends. So it's amazing what happens when you're able to come to some of those events, whether it's a boutique summit or I've seen some really amazing friendships come out of the LA trip as well. It's really fun. It's like a small little retreat. It's not as big and overwhelming as the boutique summit is because there's usually about 100 people that come to LA, and maybe 150, but it's a little bit smaller. So you get to meet people on a more intimate level. All right, this is so good. Ashley, I wish you lived close to my city and would hang out with me every day. Oh my gosh, Mallory, is your city warm? Because I am taking, I'm, capitalizing on the opportunity to travel when it comes to January in Wisconsin, because nobody wants to be in January or Wisconsin in January. So, I mean, if you live somewhere warm, that just might happen. All right. Anything else? All right. I think we got it. I think we're there. Yes. Carmen, come to one of our events. You will meet some amazing boutique owners. When the world opens up and we can travel and be normal again, I cannot wait to hug some people. Like hugging is not going to be off limits forever. I'm pretty sure we're bringing it back. That'll be vintage. Hugging is vintage. We will bring it back. It will be a trend when this whole thing blows over. All right, cool. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. Yes, if we can't go in the fall, you can go next round, Ashley. Absolutely. Yeah, everyone's in the same boat. So if it doesn't work this time, we may take 2 trips to LA in 2021 just to make it happen for everybody. Yes. South Louisiana is warm in January. Christy, I've never been to South Louisiana. I'm all about it. There's only a handful of states I have not visited. I would say like the upper Northeast. So like Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut. Never been to Rhode Island, some of those states. But I've never been to South Louisiana. I really haven't spent any time in Alabama or Mississippi. Missouri? No, not so much. What else? Virginia. I've never been to West Virginia, been to regular Virginia. So, I mean, anyone from those states, I'll be there. You just tell me when. All right, cool. You guys, thank you again for spending the last 4 days with us. This has been amazing to get to see you. Mirror Mirror Boutique, she's always the first one here. So serious props. I think that's awesome. I invite you again, if you're not yet a member of the Hub, I would love to hang out with you guys every single day. That's where I spend all of my time every day. And if you can join us in Retail Boot Camp, I would love to work with you in Retail Boot Camp. If this is not the right time for you, I understand that as well. And hopefully in January, when we do this again, we'll be able to work together at that point. But you guys are awesome. You've been troopers. You've been showing up every day. Thank you for letting me pour into your business these last couple of days, and for letting Sarah pour into your business as well. We're really blessed to get to serve you guys and to serve this industry. We absolutely love what we get to do. So thanks for being here. Good luck. I can't wait to hear what you implement. Message me on Instagram and let me know what you implement at AJ Alderson or Boutique Hub Business. I want to see your progress, you guys, and what you learn from these webinars. And then we will see you guys soon. All right. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome rest of your day.